What a bully! Scott Arfield! He's been threatening that recently, and all the Burnley players run to the Darwin end.
Burnley win the next ball. It's Rory now. On the outside, decent.
Barnes! He got it! Ashley Barnes with it! What a cross from Rory! And there was Ashley Barnes! And Burnley leading the derby.
Knocks it quickly. Finds Benson in space at the byline. Can Burnley get a goal here? Back for Brownell. Saved by the keeper!
Burnley won it to the end! That is magnificent! They deserve that!
On it by Paul Teller. On for a hat-trick.
He's got it! Hat-trick for Nathan Teller! Oh, he's on fire at the minute! 3-0 Burnley! It's Nathan Teller's day, and Burnley are 3 up here. Fantastic derby!
Here's Benson. Can he go on the outside? Comes inside. Top shot.
Oh, what a goal! Manuel Benson once more! That is top class! Burnley have done it! Fantastic! Clarets deserve the championship title. They've been the best side throughout the campaign. Burnley have won the second tier. What a fantastic achievement. The players have been magnificent.
Yes, hello everyone, and welcome along to the latest instalment of the Turfcast podcast. Full-time show with me, Joe Redmond, after Burnley's 1-1 draw at home against Nottingham Forest. A decent result in the end against a side that just missed out on Champions League last season. However, I feel like they were there for the taking and we were on top in large parts. But we'll get into that because the stats actually do tell a bit of a different story. And I know I've always been one of them who's a big advocate of watch football with your eyes, don't just hide behind the stats. But it's one of them. Sometimes the stats can tell a story that your eyes don't necessarily see. But as you can see, I am joined by Liam, who is a regular on the channel, but we haven't had him yet this season on a full-time show. So Liam, it's good to have you back, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a regular, really, as you know, in the last couple of months or so. I think I sent in a review after the Sunderland game. It's been so annoying that each time there's been a game, it's either when I'm with my kids or when I'm playing for my football team or in the sky. It's been really annoying so far. I've watched as much as I can. I watched a good chunk of the game this weekend. And, I mean, I feel really hopeful, and I feel like from what I can see online, especially on Twitter and on the forum pages, that there's a good feeling with the fan base right now. So I'm really happy that we actually have hope and we have something to actually talk about other than us complaining each weekend. So I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, definitely. Keep your comments coming in, the good ones and the bad ones again, as usual. I'm getting a lot of grief for being late. Me and Liam, I'm not seeing Liam for ages. I was chatting to him for a little bit just before we went live. Sewers. Muzz says, evening Clarets, taking all bets on how many minutes past 6 p.m. will Joe be on screen. What was it? 3 minutes, I think it was. That's not too bad, right? That's good for me. Martin says, it is 6 p.m. Nice to see Joe keeping up the tradition of being late. Then he goes on to say, I'm missing Red Zone for this and he can't even be asked to be on time. What are you watching Red Zone for instead of Arsenal Man City, Martin? Come on. You choose your sport correctly, please, mate. Muzz says a 2-minute allowance is given so he can set his hair. I literally don't put any products on my hair, to be honest. It's just naturally nice. Martin says, probably doing an interview again for the BBC is big time. Thanks for bringing that up, mate. I didn't want to bring that up and look like a bit of an idiot. But yes, I was on Football Focus yesterday. If you haven't seen it, head over to the iPlayer. It will be on there. Muzz as well, giving me more grief. Claret Owl says, evening, Clarets. Bloody hell, Joe, foot is still on. Cracking match 2. Yeah, Paul says that as well. Can you not do this live after the footy? You know that I normally do these lives at 6:30. But this week I'm working this evening, and when I'm working this evening, I'd like to do it a little bit earlier. To be honest, I could just do 6:30 and rush the live and make sure we don't go over an hour in future. If that's what you guys would prefer. I'm sure we can sort that out. But yeah, sorry about that, lads. I'll update it. I'll update you if you want to watch it. GST says fashionably late. Probably talks with his agent for his next big TV appearance. Andrew Turf Moor says hello all. Muzz says, is he in the pub spending his subscription money again? Where has the subscriber font gone? Yeah, I've just had someone take over the channel and they're putting adverts on it, and I need to message him because the subscriptions have paused and the super chats have put. We never got any super chats anyway.
Took over your channel. Excuse me, what? I'm a YouTuber.
I'll explain it off air to you, mate. Basically, they're putting adverts on it for me. They're putting adverts on it for me from DAZN. they need. It's an agency. I'll tell you about it another time.
Are they a network? Are they as a network for you?
Kind of, but I'll go
kind
into
of.
it.
Okay, that explains it. Okay, I'll let you off.
Andy Duckworth, he's one of the solid ones. Never gives me any grief, really. He says, evening, gents. I think it's a solid point. Needed to break the injury time mental hoodoo. Sorry, we are building well. So let's get into it. Let's get off all the Joe abuse and let's get into the match. Liam, your thoughts on the game, please, mate? Because I thought when I watched the game yesterday, Forest were the better side for the first 10 minutes and probably better side for the last 10 minutes. But the chunk in between, the 70 minutes in between, we were the better side. However, if you look at this match momentum graph here, which I very cheekily screenshotted from the BBC website, it tells a bit of a different story. It says that Forest were the better side for the majority of that first half, other than a bit of a spell just before we scored and a bit of a spell before half-time and after half-time. And then the second half is probably a little bit more even. But what were your thoughts on the game, please, mate?
I mean, I think it was a balanced game. Even game. We had our moments. They had theirs. I felt like we had a pretty good spell. I went on like the 50th minute or 60th minute or so that we seemed to be really on top. Of course, at the end of the game, Forest were really piling the pressure. We really did have to rely on Dubravka to get us out of a few sticky situations. And what a goalkeeper he is, by the way. I mean, I know Trafford, I know when he went, we were kind of a bit, fearful that maybe we wouldn't have a keeper that can really keep us up there. When I saw Dubravka's coming in, I was absolutely buzzing because I knew that he was a good keeper up at Newcastle. And he's been fantastic so far. So if we're ordering a man of match, it has to be him already. But yeah, it was a game, it was balanced. I can't really say too much about it. Like they had their moments, we had ours. Anthony started second half in the free kick by Loom, and yeah, I can't really complain too much. It's one of them where if you win another game or two after 2-3 games, you kind of think, yeah, it's a fair result. But then if you, I guess, don't win that's 3-4 games, you think it's an opportunity that's gone missing. It's kind of, sometimes you can't win them all. So it's okay. And we've got City away next. Fun. And
don't remember.
Villa away is City, then Villa away back-to-back, 2 away against back-to-back, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I think it is. And then was it Wolves?
And then there's another international break.
Oh, God. Yeah, there's always Leeds. Leeds are home. Yeah, I mean, that's basically just as big as the Southern one was. I must say this, though. I'm pissed off still of our fixture schedule because it's so hard to get. I know you're in Premier League, best league in the world and all that, and you're going to face tough teams. But Christ, can you give us at least some chance of some kind of momentum? Southern's faced Brentford and West Ham and so on and so forth, and like
Burnley.
Something. Yeah, they faced us, they lost. So yeah, it's so hard to really get some momentum, and like you're just kind of thinking, I want to judge us when we actually have a healthy fixtures. There's no easy games in this league. But not City away and Liverpool home, and even United away. That even though they're
Spurs away,
awful, it's still
had a
United
ridiculous
away.
start to the season. Like I said, we've got City next. I completely agree. I saw a tweet yesterday saying, "Look how good all the promoted teams are doing. You got Sunderland up in wherever they were 8th. You got Leeds. I think they were 10th at the time. All right, Burnley not doing well as well as them too, but they're still outside the relegation zone." I'm like, hold on. We've had to play all these teams. Leeds have played Everton at home, who have started the season well, to be fair. Wolves away. Like, you've just gone through some of Sunderland's easy fixtures. I think we're exactly where we should be for the fixtures that we've had. We've had not an average start, but I think we're exactly where we would have wanted to be. Beating Sunderland at home, drawing Forest at home, losing to the rest of them. However, despite that, when you look at the Liverpool game in isolation and the Man United game in isolation, we've done very, very well. So in terms of points, we probably are where we want to be. But in terms of performances, I think we're higher than that. So even again yesterday, I thought we played very, very well, despite the fact that we couldn't get the win. But like I said earlier, and like you said as well, they're a good side and they've got some good attacking players. And if you just look at the stats on screen there as well, the overall possession, Forest did beat us a little bit on that as well. The XG, they did beat us a little bit on that. The shots, they beat us a little bit on that. The shots on target, they beat us a little bit on that. So this is what I mean about earlier when I said the stats kind of tell a different story, because I felt for 70 minutes, we were the better side. We just didn't have that cutting edge up front, did we? And I do feel like it's going to let us down a little bit this season as we go on. But I'm also hoping that as we continue to build momentum and we continue to improve, that side of the game improves as well.
It's just a quality, and you never in your first year back in Prem. You need to rely a lot on luck, and you need to rely a lot on a team unit, an identity within yourself to fight for each other. That's one thing that we just simply didn't have in the Vincent Company. This time we have that, and we have ourselves a bit more hope with some good experience. The one thing this year, which is so different to last time around, is that we brought in some good actual experienced players that makes a difference immediately. Kyle Walker, Dubravka, for Florentino Perez, Florentino Luis made his debut, and I think he was absolutely top class. And to imagine a midfield of both Cullen with Leslie, Ugochukwu, and with Florentino midfield, that's a good midfield. That's a really good midfield that would be no out of place with any bottom 10 or so Premier League team. I think that's solid. And Anthony's impressed me. He surprised me. I didn't think that he would be, he has a bit of, I don't know, almost... I don't know what I'm looking for. He's almost arrogant in a way sometimes, that he just kind of just goes for it himself and takes a risk. And I like that about him. And I got to say this, though. I know it's been said 1,000 times, but my God, what the hell's Trezor? What's going on with it? Because I want to say, because he's going to be in the team for the midweek against Cardiff at home, for the cup. So unless if someone needs to say something, because he's a good player, and each time he has come on, Reading away last year, got the assist last minute. In the cup against, who do we play? Derby. So, he's a good player. He makes a big impact. He's got quality. Just, can someone say something, please? Because I think he is a piece of a puzzle, that kind of final third pass in the back that we can actually need. We need sometimes. So I want to know more about that, because I actually think he's... Also, by the way, I'm still gutted that Amdouni's still injured, because I was really...
that's what I was going to say. In my opinion, Amdouni would have been that missing piece, I feel. I also feel like the formation that we're playing, having that extra midfielder, that extra number 6, kind of takes away from that attacking flair. I think you need that in the Premier. In terms of Treasure, ironically, Trezor himself. Look, I've commented on it in the past, and then things have come out that he had massive injuries and scars, and he had to have an operation and stuff. So without
I know that
throwing himself under the bus again,
but he's playing now, right?
I think so. He's in training and stuff like that. Again, I've never been one to pretend I'm in the know, because I'm not. Sometimes I get drabs of bits, but I've heard nothing recently. There's been more of a crackdown, and a lot of people have left, so I don't get anywhere near as much. However, I don't necessarily subscribe too much to the fact that he is amazing and we would have won that yesterday. However, what I will say is, when we're getting tired in the last 15, 20, 25 minutes, and Scott Parker's a little bit reluctant to make these subs, somebody like Trezor, I think, would be really good in that situation to bring on. And then because they've got tired legs, we've got tired legs. So I think a lot of people are crying, and not crying, that's wrong, are crying out for him. So they're saying, drop Anthony, bring Trezor in. Anthony's the last person I'd be dropping with the start that he's had. But I think it's one of them for me. I think it might be good to bring on the last 15, 20.
I need to have a look at our subs, because I remember that our subs were a bit odd.
I think for me it's Edwards.
Enough, I feel like.
I think for me it's Edwards, who I think should be getting a bit more game time. But again, he didn't really look very arsed in the game against Derby, whereas Trezor's probably the opposite. I mean, again, Trezor didn't look arsed, but he came on and did really well, whereas Edwards started in that game.
Foster's knackered. I know Broya may not be fully fit yet, but what's 15, 10 minutes going to harm? Well,
he came on against
eventually, but
came on against Liverpool, didn't he? Or he came on against Liverpool. I'm sure he came on against Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I feel like because of Ange and of course the way how they play, they'll be there for the taking on the break. I feel like Broy will be a bit more useful there, because he's got fresh legs and that he's got a bit of physicality and a bit of pace as well. He's still a young lad, isn't he? Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that was a missing. He's quite
strong
piece
as well. Someone who's seems quite thin. He's quite strong as well. So I agree. Edwards and Broya for me would have been the subs, but I felt the subs were a little bit. You said you wanted to mention the subs. I don't know if you've got them up there, but I think he waited until the 82nd minute to make a sub. I think it was.
Yeah,
and then he got Hannibal on
for Loom and then Fleming on for Foster. Was Fleming? I mean,
I don't think very, very cautious subs then, weren't they? I think that's my problem there. The subs are far too cautious. Go for it a little bit there, Scott. But then obviously if he goes for it and we end up losing, that's the flip side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Dan in the chat saying Edwards was a gel that pushed us to promotion last year. And I mean, Edwards, if this is the thing. People look at it purely on just, stats on paper. They look at, oh, he didn't really score really at all, and he didn't really assist that many times. But I think in terms of the balance of the attack, him on that right-hand side made it where we can both be threatening on both sides of the pitch. So it made it a bit less predictable. And that did make a big difference for us, that it gave Anthony more space on the left of a sample to really make something hit. So, yeah, I'm surprised that he's not really been played at all. I don't know how many minutes he's had this year, but it feels like it's no more than 15, 20. But he has, look, he's going to get opportunity at some stage. He'll have to take it. Surely they know something that we don't. Is he pressing as much? Is he working as hard as what Parker wants? We know that Parker wants everyone to be a team unit, but he was here last year, or for the half of it. He knows how to press. If he didn't like him, he wouldn't played last year, right? So he must know that he can do it. I do like Loom. I like the fact he started actually was Brun Larson. So I just said a Wolves video, so I kept thinking it was Jan Larson. Larson, I don't think he's really impressed me too much. He's not a winger for me at this level. He's just a bit too stiff, I think I would say. He's a bit too stiff.
He's had a poor start to the season, but I like him based on the last time we had him in the Premier League. I agree he's had a poor start to this season.
But compared to Loom actually seems like he has a bit more of a goal.
Tuna looks great. I'll be honest with that. Tuna does look really good.
Yeah, he has a bit more of a goal for me. So, all around, if you say to us, start of the year, the first 5 games of this now, kind of will be at this stage, like you beat someone at home and you draw to Forest at home, you'd be like, okay, did we at least have a goal against Liverpool or United or Spurs? Spurs was a bit more of an outlier, but United and Liverpool, the reality is, if we somehow held in for those final 2 minutes, that dumbass penalty that Anti gave away United and a handball by Hannibal, we'll be 13th now, I believe, or 14th, not much higher.
They're two very good points against 2 decent sides as well. So it's not even just the fact that we'd be 13th. People are looking up and going, bloody hell, Burnley drew with Liverpool. The only team to draw against them this season, the only team to avoid defeat against them.
Yeah.
But we were so close in them 2 games, but I agree. Like, this is what I mean. We do look so much better than last time in the Prem.
We do. So this is the thing. I want to get excited. Then it's City away next. So it's like, okay, we'll just wait for after that. Then it's Villa away, which Villa will be under a bit of cosh right now. They somehow didn't beat Sunderland today, and you had 10 men for what seemed like an hour. So cheers, lads, for that. I guess they could be there for the takings. They're kind of, down and done.
They've had an awful start. They got beat against Brentford as well. Brentford are down there. They're below us, Brentford. So if Brentford could beat them.
Yeah, but they're still a good team, though, aren't they? Like on paper,
they've got bags of quality. Something's off this year with them. Something's off with them. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're concentrating more on other things. I'm not sure.
They're just in the Europa League, right? They're in the Europa League.
I was going to say they're not in Europe. They might be in the Europa League then. But I know they're definitely not in the Champions League. I want to bring this comment up here from Chase a Dream. He says, JBL, 0 assists as a winger in the Premier League last season. He's not a winger. Interestingly, I didn't know that. I know he was our leading goal scorer last time in the Premier League.
Was it
but I think
7 goals he scored? Was it 7?
Yeah, I think something like that, around that mark. But what I will say, he has got an assist so far this season, despite him starting slowly. He got the assist for Lyle at Old Trafford. So he has actually got an assist this season. But I do agree. I think he's had a slow start to the season. And I think, me personally, now I'll be starting Tuna ahead of him in these games. He might revert back to JBL against City. Probably because he's just going to go back to the wall like he did against Liverpool. But again, we'll see.
Maybe. The City game is just kind of just try to make it look somewhat competitive. If we don't win or draw, no one's surprised. But, if we can hold on for a bit, have a fightful 2-0 loss, no one's going to really care too much. If we can score a goal, I'll take that. Somehow score a goal. One thing I think we really need, I saw the Leeds highlights against Wolves. I saw that lad Stack that just belted in that free kick.
That free kick, great free kick.
Sensational. When's the last time you scored a free kick in the Prem?
Well, we were very close yesterday.
Precisely, that's why it's on my mind. It's like Burnley are really known. We were known under Sean Dyche on set pieces and corners and free kicks, and that's what really got us over the line in so many games. Of course, we're not that type of team. Even last year in Championship, of course, we're the better team, but I don't think we really scored really at all from set pieces. If someone can get the stats, I think we're like maybe 18th in the league from goals from set pieces. And really, we only got Estev that has a bit of physicality to really win a ball in the air, really.
Yeah, the set pieces still aren't great.
The 4 at Man United, and what was that? It was Boxing Day 2017. That cannot be the last time it's got a free kick.
It was definitely Boxing Day, but I don't know what year it was. I'll be honest with you.
I was there that day. One of the best moments of my life, that to go 2-0 up. Incredible.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one, but I was there when we were at, when we beat them.
The 2-0.
When we beat them 2-0, and Jay and Woody scored. Anyway, there's been a bit. You've already mentioned him already, Liam, but I do want to go into a little bit more detail about him and his performance yesterday. Martin Dubravka, absolutely fantastic, and it's weird because I'm kind of contradicting myself here because I did say earlier in the show that I feel like Burnley were the better side for 70 minutes, but I also feel like Martin Dubravka, without giving anything away for later on, which you already have done, was our standout player. I thought he was fantastic yesterday. He made, I think it was 7 saves. The Premier League did a compilation on his saves. 3 of them were very, very tame shots that were straight at him. Yeah. But 4 of them were great saves, especially that header in the first half that looked like it was behind him. And then that one he tipped round the post in the second half. 2 great saves. And you share the same thing as me, because I know you said it on the overlap recently, and I only know this, to be fair, because, well, you reminded me today when you tweeted it. But I said at the time, the best keeper to have in the net for us right now, out of Trafford and Martin Dubravka, even though I think Trafford will go on to have a far better career than Dubravka, and Trafford's only young, right now is Martin Dubravka. And it's not just the saves he makes. Like, I genuinely struggle to see any of the saves that Dubravka made yesterday that Trafford wouldn't have done. I think Trafford probably makes all the same saves. Maybe not the one that's a little bit behind him. But Trafford was never really bad at shot stopping. Trafford used to let himself down at passing the ball out from the back and collecting crosses and corners. Dubravka might not collect them, but he comes out and punches them every single time. And he really, really, really does help. But your thoughts on Dubravka, mate, the signing of Dubravka, the point I've just made about Trafford, which I know you agree with, but obviously feel free to say your piece, and obviously his performance yesterday.
Well, I mean, I remember when I was on the overlap and I mentioned that, because people at the time, they were really going in on us because, they're like, wait, so Burnley, they've lost Josh Brownell, they've lost Trafford, they lost Egan Radek. How are you imagining that you'll do any better? And it's like, well, if we're bringing in Dubravka for Trafford, that has been good for me. We just announced Ugochukwu that same day, I believe, the same time as Dubravka for Brownell. It's like, okay, I mean, I've not seen Ugochukwu, but I think we already know Brownhill from his, 3-4 years in Prem. He's not a Premier League centre midfielder. We all knew this. Like, he's not good enough to do that. But Brownhill, for me, was always like championship, top quality. His best skill, his best trait is being at the right place at the right time. He's very intelligent of where to put himself on the pitch, but he's never going to, drive a ball 15, 20 yards. He's not really got a keen eye for a pass at Premier League level, and he's not physical enough at the level either. So I had belief that Dubravka, I think, was an upgrade on Trafford, and I think that, and what was it? I think it was Spurs. I think it was like in the first 10 seconds or 15 seconds I was watching it, and he already made like a big save in the first 10 seconds. I was like, yep,
very early on. It was very early on.
It was at the first tag. It was at the first 10 seconds. It was like, he's a man.
And he did the same against Sunderland pretty much as well. Again, but both of these teams should score them goals, but Dubravka's doing his job again, isn't it? It's, like I said, I agree with you. He's been an absolute brilliant bit of business.
Well, Newcastle fans are absolutely, just very confused right now because it's kind of weird for us involved because they would rather have Dubravka than Nick Pope right now. And I was actually thinking this, like, would I rather have Dubravka or Nick Pope right now at this current moment? I'll probably say Pope because I love him, but I actually don't know which one I would have right now. I don't think Pope's got that bad. And for what we need at our level of the game, experiencing a lot of crosses in the box and going up against a Kosh, I'll still take Nick Pope personally.
Nick Pope were brilliant. I love Nick, and again, it's going to be harsh for me to say Dubravka, but I think it's one of them. It's one of them with Nick. We all love him, and he came into the side in that European season, and obviously helped us get there. Obviously from that heated injury, and we never really looked back. So it'd be a tough one for that. I'd probably just.
What do you say, Nick Pope? Which one would you take, Dubravka or Nick Pope?
I'd take Nick.
There you go. Come on. Chat, who do you go for? I
love Martin so far. I do love Martin so far, but Nick were brilliant for us over 3-4 seasons. Martin's been great for us for 5 games. So let's see where we're at the end of the season.
Just crosses in the box, and he just claims anything that comes inside that 10-yard area. Arsenal just scored as well.
They have. I'm fuming
happy
about
that
because
I want to also try
fuming.
to do something.
I'd rather City or Arsenal win, but a draw is just the best result for Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool are going to win the league. They're going to walk it. They're not even playing well, and they're 5 points clear or whatever they were earlier.
I still have hope in Arsenal. I still have hope.
I don't think they're good enough, Arsenal. I don't think I don't rate Victor Gyökeres at all. I think he's a good striker. He's not an elite striker. Whereas Liverpool have just signed an elite striker, 2 elite strikers. Ekitike looks great, and obviously Isak as well looks fantastic. But anyway, we digress. Martin Stevenson says Abra Dubravka, Steve Miller band. We need to get it going. Yeah, it's better than Martin Dubravka or whatever. Just have a quick look at this goal because someone says, "What is Donnarumma doing there?" He's in no man's land, isn't it? Sorry, go on, Liam.
I thought, yeah, Donnarumma just got caught out then, so that goes Trafford in next game now. Yeah, I saw a tweet. Can you confirm? Was there a chant at Turf just for Loom? And there's shouts Loom at him. Is that his chant now?
I didn't hear that. If I'm honest with you,
I saw it online. It's like that's so Burnley. That's
so we've got Steve, we've got Loom now, and we had Beast and
remember Woot.
That's just, we are so shit at chance. We genuinely are so shit at chance sometimes.
1 second.
Yeah, all good, mate. But I am actually gonna read out some comments. So that gives me a bit of chance to do that. Jordan Rupture says only fear with Dubravka if he gets injured because our backups are miles off it. Dubravka hasn't played more than 30 games in his season since 1920. That's interesting. Did not know that, Jordan. But yeah, I was a little bit worried yesterday because there was a moment where Dubravka actually went down, but I think I've read online somewhere since that it was all a little bit pretend, and it were when we're under the cosh a little bit, and Kyle Walker shouted over to him like, go down, waste a bit of time. So I was worrying about that then in that exact moment, Jordan, thinking that, bloody hell, is Vice going to come in and do a decent enough job? I haven't seen him play yet, to be honest with you, Max Vice, but if he's there, I think one of them 7 attempts go in. But yeah, I thought it was absolutely fantastic, Dubravka, and it's great to see him. It's great to see him in the team. Research says Vice did look good against Lazio and stuff, to be fair. I didn't go to that one. I've not seen him play, so I can't really comment. Yeah, Andy confirms Walker told him to go down indeed. What's that, mate?
He saved the penalty, so guessing now there's that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Chase a Dream says it as well. Walker lost a boot, did he? Fair enough. Why haven't you loaned out Hladky, says Chase a Dream? I don't know, mate. I'm not in charge of that sort of stuff.
I forgot that he's still here, to be fair.
I did as well, to be fair. Anyway, there's somebody else I want to talk about. Somebody else who started his first game for Burnley yesterday. That is, of course, the Octopus, as he's called, according to some people. But it is, of course, Florentino Luis. I thought he played very, very well yesterday. And I saw a tweet from Jacob Horsford as well. Now, I haven't checked these numbers, but obviously Jacob's brand is all sort of like stats and things like that. So I very much trust Jacob. I'll just quickly try and get it up before I end up just sort of like waffling a little bit. But it was about Florentino Luis and sort of like his stats from yesterday. It must have been quite a while ago. So here we go. I'm scrolling all the way down his page now and I couldn't find it. It says Florentino Luis versus Nottingham Forest by numbers. The most tackles won, the most duels attempted, 6 duels won, 7 recoveries, 5 passes into the final third, 100% dribble success rate, and 18 defensive contributions. Now, I looked at him yesterday and I was like, this guy is good. He's playing very, very well. There was one moment where I was like, that's a little bit silly, where it was in his own half, not on the edge of the box, but around 5 or 6 yards away from the edge of the box. Ran into a little bit of traffic, tried to do a back heel. The back heel went to a Forest player. They attacked. Thankfully, it came to nothing. But other than that, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was fantastic yesterday. And I now, even though I like Big Les, I now struggle to see how the midfield 3 works with this dynamic. Are we constantly rotating? Are we sometimes having Big Les and Cullen? Are we sometimes having Cullen and Florentino? Are we sometimes going to have Florentino and Big Les? But obviously Cullen's the club captain. Or do we push Cullen a little bit further forward? It's an interesting sort of like dynamic. But Liam, your thoughts on his performance yesterday, please, mate?
Well, it all depends on what we do with Laurent, isn't it? Because Laurent is in a bit of an odd role right now. I don't really know how to describe him. He's kind of just in a roaming half-space area, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, he's in a bit of a new role, so it depends on what he does with that. I was very happy with Florentino Luis. I think I did a post about it, that he will be huge this year. And it's just an indication that our transfers and how we've gone at things has been different to last time. And I think we've made a lot of very helpful signings that's going to help the team a lot. You know, I think Leslie will help out a lot. Luis will help out a lot. Hartman, I think, is a great piece of business. I mean, we've been in a left back for God knows how long. Kyle Walker too, some experience. Dubravka, we've made some good signings. You know, it's been really good to see. And maybe if we are in January, and we're kind of still in the months that we're like 16th, 17th, maybe even 18th, that maybe just one more, two more signings, that we could know that we can actually help out the team. I think a proper striker would help, because I love Foster, but at that final ball, that final bit of quality, it's always going to hurt us. We just don't have that final quality to really make it pay. And it's frustrating, because it's kind of similar to what it was last time, but it's kind of what you expect, because we're up against teams that's been in Prem for about 5-6 years and have been raking in the money. So they've just been able to spend so much that, eventually they will have to just have a really good team with really good players. And that's how it was last time, and that's how it is now. But again, to survive this year, we have to be digging deep, playing as a unit, and that's what we're doing. So we have by far a much better chance, and I'm a lot more hopeful and happy this campaign so far than what was that entire company season. Because
definitely,
I do like defense wins titles. It's not for us. Defense wins your 17th, and that's what we're going to hope continues. Because yes, we did concede in the first 2 minutes, but set piece just fell to him, so it's a bit unfortunate. But it's one of them. We got City. Let's just skip that, I would say, lads. And then Villa away. I think that's a possibility for maybe a draw. The way they're playing now.
We can do Villa. We can do Villa. I'll look into the fixtures sort of like later on in the stream. But obviously, I just want to quickly go through the comments about Florentino Luis, because obviously the comment on screen there, which is something I completely forgot about, to be fair. He got booked very early on. I haven't seen it back yet, to be fair, but I do remember at the time thinking it was a little bit nonsense. But Burnley Till I Die says, kept his head for 75 minutes after that nonsense booking. Chase the Dream says, Les Lewis and Cullen, the three amigos. And he goes on to say Cullen is also so underrated. Les needs to be the one pushed forward. Obviously, that's from when I was talking about that midfield three dynamic there from Chase the Dream.
He could go forward, because I think it's something that can win the ball out the pitch as well. That's
potentially. My only worry with Les, and I've said it on a few streams, is he just doesn't drive with the ball. So if you want him a little bit further forward, you're going to want him to drive with. But that might be a confidence thing, because he is only very young. So
I'm going to say something that's going to maybe annoy you. Imagine if we had Sander Berg.
Yeah, that
he could be perfect in that as well.
For it. And that what used to annoy me about Vincent Kompany is he used to always play Sander Berg too deep, and he used to always be perfect for that sort of like 8, sort of like 10 sort of role. 10's probably a bit high, but that sort of like box to box sort of role. So Les could be the best one for that, to be fair, but I just wanted to drive a little bit more.
Yeah, it was his first game, so maybe he'll kind of grow more into it. But I think he'd be the one, because he seems like he's very into the press, but also winning the ball high up the pitch. I mean, that key detail, he was on a booking for almost the entire game, and he made so many like tackles here or there, like kind of just round the legs as well, with like a little pink, little toe just poking it out. He put his feet about, he got stuck in, so he wasn't scared just to give it all, because I mean that's lovely, kind of have to. You can't play 90% because you just get caught out and just abused for it. So it was top quality, and again, good recruitment, and I like the way how it looks so far.
Yeah, he looked absolutely brilliant yesterday. I was quickly going through more of the comments. Andy Dutworth says, get all three playing and wreck the opposition. Burnley Till I Die says, can't push Cullen further forward. That's his game, picking the ball up and getting us going. I do agree. I'm just trying to think of sort of like ways to sort of like work it all out. It probably is Les the best of the three, to be fair. Jordan Rushworth says, we'll have to enjoy Florentino whilst we have him this season. On yesterday's evidence, there'll be a lot of big clubs trying to sign him next summer if he keeps playing like that. Chase the Dream says, we have Premier League quality at keeper, defence and midfield. Up top is a weakness. Yeah, I do agree with that, with our lack of composure. Dominic H says, evening, lads. Sorry, just joined us. I've been watching the Arsenal game. Yeah, I've noticed the numbers just shoot up, by the way. Might have to just bite the bullet and start doing it from 6:30 and only make sure the stream lasts an hour. John Westall says, what level of football have you two played? Sorry, John, have you never spoken about football in your life? You absolute gimp. I'm allowed to talk about football despite never playing in the Premier League.
I mean, I play fourth tier Czech football, if that counts.
There you go. What have you played, John? Absolutely nothing. I hate that. Like,
I play semi-pro.
I'm here in my spare room, well, my front room now, talking about football. Do you not talk about football down at the pub, John? It is what it is. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Evening, lads. Player says,
what if it was a normal question?
Exactly.
What if he was curious? Oh, do you know it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, no, it's like, what if he was just curious? Oh, well, have you played? Maybe he's asking the question.
Yeah. No. He's being a prick.
Okay.
Martin Stevenson said he's played FIFA on world class. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, moving on. It's been all positive, to be fair, John. I've not criticised any Burnley player, to be fair, so I don't know what your problem is. But somebody else I want to talk about, who's somebody that always gets overlooked because we're just used to him being absolutely magnificent. And once again, he was magnificent yesterday, and that is, of course, Maxime Esteve. He's another one that we just have to enjoy him because he will not be here next year. Excuse me. He will not be here next year. If we go down, I don't think he'll be here. And even if we stay up, I don't think he'll be here. He is superb. He's got such a big future ahead of him. I've seen Micah Richards comment on him this week. So other people are starting to know. And we know what happens when the big pundits start to know and word starts getting out. Bids start coming in. Fabrizio Romano starts tweeting about him every 30 seconds because his agent's telling him to drum up interest. So it's one of them things. But Steve, absolutely superb yesterday again. He gets overlooked because we're so used to him being superb. And once again, he was superb. There was a moment where the ball was bouncing after a ball forward from one of the Forest lads. It looked like it was behind Steve. I think it was Gibbs White that was running in behind. And he just did that brilliant. Was it Ulster? And it just did that brilliant diving header out of nowhere. And I remember just tweeting at the time, I just put Steve. It's literally what I just put Steve. He is superb and he's an absolute brick wall. And I put a tweet out earlier or yesterday, like, enjoy him now. You know, we've been really good. We've been blessed with central defenders at Turf. When you think about it, we've obviously had Tarke, Ben Mee, Keane, Steve, Gary Cahill. If we go back a little bit further, we've had some brilliant central defenders and he's right up there with them. He is absolutely superb. But your thoughts on his performance yesterday, please, mate?
Yeah, you are correct that he does get overlooked because we just expect him to be absolutely colossus, and he is again. And yeah, I like to imagine a world that he could somehow stay, but if he does go, how much money? Because if we do stay in the league, no less than 50 million £50 million. I can see him so easily go to, like, say, a Spurs. I think Spurs would probably be the one that he ended up to. I can see it. But yeah, no less than 50 million.
They were looking at him before, weren't they, for reports to be to leave?
Yeah. So they've been around for quite a while now. He's immense, and I like to not think about the idea of him leaving yet. I want to enjoy him because for me, he's club captain material. He's someone that you want to imagine being there for a long time. It's probably unlikely, but we know that he's going to give us everything. So enjoy him, and if he does go one day, hopefully it's when we're staying up and we get a lot of money for him, we can wish him well. But while he's here, just appreciate him.
Yeah, completely agree. He's absolutely superb. I did enjoy this comment earlier from where's it gone now? From research. You forgot about the greatest centre back of all time, Joe. Kevin Long. That made me chuckle. I did wonder who it was on about then, to be fair. I did wonder who you were on about, to be fair.
I mean, don't forget Andre BK.
Andre BK. Well, we ended up pushing him into midfield, didn't we, BK, if I remember rightly? I think he played centre-back for Reading, and he might have played centre-back for us in that first Premier League season, if I remember rightly. But after that, we ended up pushing him into midfield, which were a bit bizarre. BK were...
I mean, I remember growing up, I thought Jason Shackle was, like, incredible when I was, like, 13. Yeah, I remember.
And then he went back to Derby, and I was just like, "What are you doing, man?" And that was when they were below us and everything. So I remember just being a bit annoyed with that.
That Derby County game at home that we beat them, I think it was like 4-1 or something.
Yeah.
That was probably the funniest game I've ever been to in my life. That own goal was when it came off Shackle as well. I've never laughed so much in my life. It was incredible. I think also he gave away a pen as well. I think that Andre Gray put away, from my memory, I think.
Better memory than me, mate, but I do remember him playing very poorly in that game, and everyone laughed. Oh, yeah. Jordan Rushworth has got a point. Leon Court. Got to have a mention of Leon Court. Old concrete boots Court. Honestly, he's the slowest player I've ever seen.
Was he only there for half a season in that 09-10 year?
No, I think he was there for a while. I think so.
I thought he was just there for the sort of Premier and then dipped.
I might be wrong. But people are just sitting here naming centre backs now. It's just turned into a stream where we're just naming and saying Ian Cox were a legend, to be fair. Mitchell, who remembers Mitchell Thomas? He was class. Steve Davis, he gets a bit of stick from Burnley fans because obviously he followed Coyle to Bolton. But those of you that understand why he did it, he wasn't guaranteed a job here. He was guaranteed a job at Bolton. Completely get it from my opinion. Mark Mornington, also Steve Bladder. You're going back a bit far here now. Burnley till I die. You're going back a bit far. But yeah, I thought we were absolutely fantastic again with Steve, to be fair. I want to mention... Go on, Liam, I'll let you chat.
I was going to say,
Ekdal.
what's the kind of consensus on Ekdal? Because we weren't really too aware of who's going to start this campaign alongside Esteve. We kind of felt like me going to a kind of back five of sorts, probably Kyle Walker's the right centre back or whatever. Starting Son, I still feel like it was a really weird decision. He's didn't even start in Championship, so how would he start in Prem? I have no idea. So thank God that's got binned pretty fast. But wasn't a consensus on Ekdal? Because I remember, what was it? The Spurs game, he was pretty slow. Like, we got caught out there for the first goal, I believe, because he just didn't react in time. But are we happy with him, or are we thinking he's someone that we can maybe replace in January?
I'm happy with him. I think he started the season pretty well. Just a quick rubbish edit there from me. Just thought I haven't got time to edit it, so I've just shoved it up there for you. I think he started the season very, very well. And I've mentioned him quite a few times on some of the full-time shows. I'm very happy with him. I did have a little bit of anxiety, I think is the right word, about him starting in the Premier League. I always remember that goal. I love the fact that everybody's just talking about centre-backs in the comments now, by the way. I always remember that goal we conceded against Cardiff in the Championship under Vincent Kompany, where he was just completely done for pace. And his pace has always been the main worry. But I think he's got such an intelligent footballing brain, and it does help that we do defend quite deep. Let's be honest. It will help him in terms of his pace. It does help that we do defend quite deep. But he's also got such a good footballing brain.
Will also maybe be good as well.
Potentially. But he's not been caught out at any point this season. You mentioned that one against Spurs there, maybe. But even then, it's Spurs, and I feel like he's played very, very well. He was very good against Liverpool. He was very good against Forest yesterday as well. So it's one of them. I think he's been superb. I've been very, very happy with him. Very happy with him.
He almost got a 90-minute win as well.
He did.
That's
Who was that against?
He almost got a 90-minute winner. It dropped from the Hannibal free kick, and he basically shot it straight at himself.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
If he somehow shot it just off the ground, almost shot it downwards, probably would have gone through his legs and back of the net. So he almost got a winner for us as well, to be fair.
Yeah, Andy Duckworth says, think Ekdal very good in the air in both boxes. Yeah, he is. I just want to see more from, not him necessarily, but us as a club on the attacking set pieces. As me and Lee mentioned earlier, to be fair, we have mentioned that earlier, so I don't want to go into it in too much detail. Martin's just naming centre-back still, says Mitchell Thomas. I mentioned Mitchell Thomas, mate. Come on, keep up. Victoria Lockhart says, we're going on a bender. We're going with John Pender, that's the name. Bloody hell. Anyway, let's keep to the Ekdal stuff, everybody. Oh, well, you do your own thing in comments. Absolutely love it. Jordan Rusher says Ekdal does read the game very well. Back three really suits him as he doesn't get exposed 1v1 for pit. Yeah, the back three helps as well, Jordan. It definitely really does, to be fair. But I also think it helps that he's playing against Maxime Esteve, who's absolutely superb, and he's also in a back line with Kyle Walker, who's probably the most experienced player to ever come to Burnley. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but he's been absolutely fantastic as well. Quick word on Kyle Walker, Lee. Probably not, to be fair, but we've had Ian Wrights and Paul Gascoigne as well, haven't we? But he's coming with all these Premier League titles, even a Champions League and things like that.
Kyle Walker is in theory. I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say that he's probably the best player that's ever played for Burnley in terms of he's been in the World Team of the Year 2-3 times. Surely in terms of what he's done. I mean, that's why people put him in the right back in terms of all-time Premier League 11s. No,
I'm not sure, but obviously then you've got to look at Gaza as well. And how good Gaza was. I know he wasn't good.
Has he been in any Team 11s?
No
World
idea.
Best Team of the Year?
No idea. But Gaza was.
I know Gaza was immense, but
it is there.
Yeah, I think stats-wise, Walker, of course, would beat him, but Gaza, of course, had just his creative mental streak, didn't he?
Yeah.
And why is Kyle Walker not captain? I think it'd be a bit harsh on Cullen, wouldn't it?
I think so. But I understand the argument for having somebody with that experience as club captain. Is he vice captain? Do a vice captain still even a thing?
Yeah, vice captain is still a thing. Actually, who would be a vice captain? Actually, it'll probably be. I'll give it to Esteve, honestly. Who is a vice captain?
I'm not sure. I'm
Let's
not
find
sure.
Out.
But yeah, Kyle Walker absolutely superb again yesterday. I completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. Definitely not Josh Brownhill, I'll tell you that much. Cullen's too quiet, says Claret Al. Walker is vice captain, says Dominic, to be fair. Walker did put on the armband when Cullen went off against Liverpool, so that would suggest that he maybe is the vice captain, whether it's unofficial or not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love you just put the picture of Walker just to confirm we all know who we're talking about here, lads.
Yeah, it took that long for me to do it. But no, just a quick word on Walker though. Like, he's been a brilliant. It's like, I remember. I don't know if you remember everybody, but I did some bits with Jimmy from Blades Ramble and Connor from One Leeds towards the end of last season, as it looked like all three of us were going up. Still hilarious that Sheffield United didn't go up, and it's even more hilarious that they're currently bottom of the Championship. But I always remember
6 in a row.
I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, I always remember when we signed Kyle Walker. Connor messaged me, giving me loads of shit. It's like, Kyle Walker, bloody hell, he's well past it. You're definitely finishing rock bottom, you lot. That's an awful signing. He's been superb. Kyle Walker has been absolutely superb. And I'm hoping that a lot of people, because it were all over Twitter, people slagging him off all over Twitter. He's past it. What an awful signing. It reeks of Rio Ferdinand going to QPR. He's been fantastic. As MJH Gaming says there, some of the passes that Walker makes still in. He's still well fast as well, by the way. He might only be 75% of the pace that he had 3-4 years ago, but that's still rapid because he was one of the fastest players in the world 3-4 years ago. Now he's just one of the fastest players in the Prem. He's still normally the fastest player on the pitch. He was superb again yesterday, and I think a lot of people, not Burnley fans, but a lot of people owe him an apology.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking about it, and it was like, okay, look, yes, maybe he's no longer good enough for Man City, but most players in the world are not good enough for Man City. So, like, let's give him a bit of a chance here, lads, because just because he's not good enough for Man City doesn't mean he's not good enough for Burnley, okay? Yeah. And my only one maybe slight issue is the fact that he may not be used to playing under the cosh all the time and playing a lot more deeper. Maybe that it'd be a completely different, situation for him to be in. But that was only a slight issue that I had because he's not like a bad footballer or a bad technical player or a bad defensive player. Like the conversations back in, I think it was the Qatar 2022 World Cup was when we played France was Kyle Walker versus Mbappe, the head-to-head and 1v1 for the ages. And I'm pretty sure he did pretty good against Mbappe that game only 2 years ago. So yeah, it's just people being stupid, people comparing to it's the real Ferdinand or whatever. I don't think Walker's that lad. Yes, he's a bit of a party lad, but when it comes to on the pitch,
he's a Jagger. We know that much.
Maybe not anymore, but I guess back in the day. But as long as on the pitch, he's giving it all. I don't really care what he does in the bedroom. But Walker, again,
he's not tired when he gets up in the morning, like you say.
It's the leadership that we were missing last time. Like they've done a really good job of bringing in players that are just consistent. And as was said in the chat, he's barking orders. He's got that leadership in him. He's telling Nick down what to do, and he's helping out the young lads as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if we stay up or not, it doesn't really matter. I think we'll probably put down Walker as player of the season. Honestly, I of course I can't do it now. I mean, but if we were to do like a vote of the best player of the season so far, I think Walker probably will win.
Potentially,
in terms of, for me, like he's so important out from the back, I feel, that he's relied upon a lot to get us out of situations, honestly. So I think for that alone, like the silly mistakes we used to make back in the day in the company, in the last Prem campaign, we're not really doing that anymore. And I think he's a big part of that because he just knows what to do.
I agree.
My camera just dies after 20 minutes. It's so annoying. Sorry about that.
I love the fact that you're like a pro YouTuber and your camera's absolutely god awful. Well, not god awful, but you know what I mean. It's better quality than mine when it's working, at least.
Well, the battery used to last like 50 minutes, but I've had it for like 5 years, so it just lasts for like 20 minutes now. It's just dying day by day. Yeah,
fair enough. Duncan Fisher, this is the long one. It says, in the first half, it was one down and the game/ground was dead. He made a tackle. It seemed to lift everyone, the fans, the players, everyone in the stadium. Exact player we need in a relegation scrap. Completely agree. He's absolutely superb, to be fair. And I think that there wasn't, like I mentioned it earlier, there was a moment where Dubravka went down in the second half and everybody, I missed it at the time, but everybody agreed that, so a few people confirmed, should I say, that they saw it and Walker told him to go down. That's perfect leadership. He knows the dark arts, if you will, the tricks of the trade, and completely agree. It's somebody that we missed absolutely last time, and it's fantastic that we've got him in, and he's been absolutely brilliant. Hartman's getting a lot of love in the chat. Hartman was decent again yesterday also. Quick word on Hartman, Liam. I thought he was superb again yesterday. I think for me, it's difficult it's so difficult to say. Say if I said the signing who's made the most impact so far, you've got to look at all you've got to look at 3 of these really. Hartman is consistent, is delivering 7.5, 8 out of 10 every single week. Walker's same really. The Bravka's been fantastic as well. But I think for me, Hartman just pips it because I didn't know too much about him, and he's coming. He's been absolutely superb. And like you said earlier, we've needed a left back for what feels like since Stephen Ward left. You know what I mean? In fact, he was right back, weren't he?
I was going to say, I think that's a part of it. I think that we've just been so desperate, and it's been so blatantly obvious for like 5 years that we need a left back, like an actual left back, beyond Charlie Taylor. Charlie Taylor, since then, yeah. Yeah, but Taylor hasn't really been on it since, 21, 22 or 2021 or whatever. Hartman I really do like. I would still probably put Dubravka Walker ahead of him. But
really?
I would do, because I just think that, like, I think we rely a lot more on Walker and Dubravka, especially Walker when it comes to out from the back. We rely on him a lot more, I think, than Hartman. I think Hartman, he's there as like a really good switcher play. Like Walker can find Hartman and he's there just to go and make those runs in the space because he's got the legs to. The entire thing about Hartman is the fact that he was always rated really highly in Netherlands. He just had a really bad injury. And he was playing a lot for the Dutch national team, had a bad injury. And it was always a question of, he's a good player. Can he stay fit, and is the ACL impacting him too much? If it's not impacting him, he was always highly rated over in Netherlands by many fans. It's just, can you have the Hartman that we saw beforehand? It looks like so far that we have that, and let's just God press whatever wood you've got and just hope that continues.
Yeah, fair enough. Andy Brown says, all new signings and will only get better as they play more games together. Completely agree. Big Lou says, Hartman been really good so far this season. Jordan Rushford says, how much better are our signings this Premier League summer versus the last time? Nearly all the signings have made an immediate impact and all up Premier League standard. How many could we say that about last time? Yeah, to be fair, I agree with that. There's a comment here from Dan Atkinson. He says, I think Parker is doing a masterclass. He's obviously a good guy, and this is why Walker and Edwards came, because of him. All the lads he's brought in are looking like gems. I want to see more of Brozier. I think we've got Steve for 5 years because of Parker. Yeah, he's obviously signed the contract, hasn't it? Whether we see him for 5 years. I'll be happy with 5 months.
Swear to God.
I'll be happy with 5 months at this stage with Steve, to be fair. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. I agree with that comment from Jordan. I think all signings that have come in have done well. Obviously, not all have made an instant impact yet, to be fair. We're still waiting on Brozier, but that's not necessarily anything to do with Brozier. And up until yesterday, you could have argued Louise, but Louise has come in and made an impact yesterday, to be fair. So you can agree with that one as well. So, yeah, completely agree. The recruitment this time, hats off to the recruitment team. They've absolutely got it bang on this time. Really have.
I'm really looking forward to Tuesday. We play Tuesday, not Wednesday. Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah, because Tuesday. Sometimes back and forth. I'm looking forward to playing to us playing against Cardiff on Tuesday, because I really want to see some of these other lads play. I want to see Edwards. I want to see him start. I want to see what he can do. Because I think he's play a bit more. I want to see Brozier start. What other players? I mean, Trezor will probably play at some stage.
Yeah.
If he'll start.
Edwards. Did you mention Edwards then? Edwards, I want to see play.
Edwards, I guess Fleming has to start as well. I think, but it's like if Fleming's a weird one, I feel like he's forgotten about a lot because of the assignments of Brozier. But is Fleming a Premier League player? Like,
probably
I don't
not.
really know.
But I'd like to see him given the chance a bit more. But would you ever start with Fleming up top again? Probably not in the Premier League. I don't know. It's a tough one with Fleming because he's not poor. He's clearly a very good player and he's an absolute beast. I don't know if you ever saw them pictures of him on the training camp and stuff. His arms have just suddenly become absolutely huge. So he might be good for a job to hold up play. I want to see more of Ashley Barnes just because I love the man. Absolutely love the man. Maybe play him on Tuesday.
If you can imagine him being subbed on.
Got him on Tuesday. Fleming is a 10, says Claret. That could potentially work, but then obviously you've got to drop one of the 6s. So maybe do that against Cardiff.
You could get away with it. I mean, Humphreys will start. Worrell, Perez definitely as a left back.
Forgetting about Humphreys. He's a very good centre back as well.
But like, I don't know if Humphreys is that good. I mean, like, was he played as a fullback for most of his last campaign?
Yeah, he did. But I think he started it at centre back, then had an injury, and then came back into left back. I always remember him playing very, very well at Bramall Lane, where he got the assist for the Josh Brownhill goal. Humphreys is good.
He played left back most times he played.
Yeah, he did. But he's got a cross on him. He got the assist for Fleming against Blackburn as well.
He did.
And Zebe, I forgot about him.
Shit! Well, is he injured or what?
No, just how can you shoehorn him into the side at the minute? I just don't think you can.
Jesus, I forgot Tuanzebe completely. I actually quite like Tuanzebe. I thought he could be a at least helpful signing. I thought it'd be Transaber and Esteb to start the campaign, but clearly not. Okay, I mean, surely we must see Transaber at some stage. Was he involved in pre-season?
I think so.
Because is he just not that good and just not even on the bench?
I just don't think he's as good as the likes of Steve, Ekdal, and Ekdal. You know what I mean? I think that's the only issue, is it? James Burnell as well.
Yeah, I mean, Burnell, I remember against Derby when he got stubbed on, he could definitely show it, but showing it against Derby and, probably against Cardiff is a different kettle of fish. I would say, I was just going to say, as Gamers said as well, MJH, Connor Roberts, he's injured, right? That's why he's not been involved.
I don't know if he still is. He definitely was. I think he should be back round about now, if I remember the time frame from the last time they spoke about him in a press conference. But he wasn't called up to the Wales squad recently because of this injury. So it's obviously relatively serious.
Even if he's back, he's not starting, is he? Are we going to put Walker as the right centre back and him go right back or right wing back?
Potentially. But I think I'd leave it as is for now. It's worked. The goal we conceded yesterday was pretty poor, but it were just a case of, was it a corner or a cross that come in?
It was a corner.
Yeah, a corner. And we just took too long to get out to him, if I remember rightly. So yes, it was a poor goal. But again, the defence is doing very well. Maybe move Loren out, but again, he's doing very well. So I know he's not a natural in that position, but he's coming in on very, very well. So
doing a job, but I think he's definitely replaceable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He's definitely replaceable. Foster as well, because in the Championship, I mean, he wasn't great, was he? So, what do you think the deal is with Foster? Why does he look so much better in Prem? Why does he look like he's just got more about him?
It's an easy answer, but I just think it's the way that Prem team set up against us. They step onto us a little bit more. The defences are a little bit higher. Foster's got a lot of pace, so he can then get in behind. He can met runs. Obviously, he can play on the last shoulder of the defence. Whereas in the Championship, we step onto teams, they step off us. There's not as much space in behind, and he struggles with the tight, compact areas. It's an easy answer, but I genuinely think it is that, as Dominic says there, space. It is literally just that. There's more space in the Premier League.
It does have more space to win into.
Yeah, because they all step onto us, whereas we were the team stepping. Because we have been the best team in the Championship over the last 3-4 seasons that we've been in it. All right, you could argue Leeds are better than us last season, but I mean, collectively over the course of the seasons. So teams are going to shit themselves when they play somebody like us in the Championship. And in the Prem, that just isn't the case. So they step onto us and we have more space. Burnley till I die says that as well.
I kind of want to say this because the reason why I said that also because it puts me to this next point. Because of the space that he'd be given, I kind of wish that I could see Koleosho again. I kind of wish that we kind of.
I was disappointed we let Koleosho go because of that exact reason. I think the Prem suits him a lot more.
In a game like this, last 10 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever, against Ange's team that likes to push so many players up, upfield, there is space on the counter for the transition. I don't know. I wish I was able to see Koleosho just to see because he had great moments. Then wasn't that good in Championship, and then had great moments again. Maybe what Foster's doing. I don't know. I think that he had a bit more. But I can get it. Because he was really poor in Championship at many parts, I would say.
Yeah.
But he's not a technical player. He's not going to pass through teams.
His final ball can be quite frustrating with Koleosho. But the perfect scenario to bring him on yesterday with 15 minutes to go, run the channels, as Chase the Dream says. I think he's talking about Foster there, though, to be fair. But Koleosho, run the channels, get ball in, get in and behind. Him and Foster then in and behind yesterday when they're tired. Perfect.
Yeah, well, Foster definitely been. I don't think Broyer's slow. I think he could definitely do something.
Yeah, I'm not seeing enough of him yet in a burn. He's quite.
So I hope he's being cautious with Broyer. I think that's why he's not being brought on because he has many injury issues in the past. Yeah. So I'm hoping he's just being very cautious.
Probably is something like that, to be fair. But anyway, move on. We have just hit the hour mark. Don't worry, I'm not going to start wrapping it up just yet. But there is one thing that we do need to do before we look ahead and start looking at the fixtures, because I do want to look at the fixtures after we've had this debate. Liam's already told us who his is, but I will ask him again. Liam, who was your man of the match from the game yesterday, please?
I mean, I think with me and 90% of the chat, because we would have lost without him, it's absolutely Martin Dubravka. And you may say, I don't know, Florentino Luis maybe, or maybe Anthony because he scored, but it's Dubravka. It just has to be. He kept us in the game. I'm seeing people say Walker, which I don't disagree with really, because he's been quality in every game, but he kept us in it, especially those 2 saves within a short time period in the second half. Like, I think it's the 70th minute or something. Top quality. So absolutely him.
Yeah, I completely agree. Even though I think, like I said, I've said this a few times, but even though I'm going to completely be a hypocrite because I feel like we were the better side for 70 minutes, that last 10 minutes, Dubravka kept us in that match with them saves. I literally just read a comment that said Walker, and my brain cannot differentiate between the two, so I just immediately said Walker. Nice. But yeah, it's Dubravka for me. I think he was the man of the match. We are seeing a lot of shouts for Walker, and as Liam just said, you can completely agree with that. Walker was fantastic as well. Paul Johnson says Walker. Mus Trucking says Dubravka. Chase the Dream says Dubravka. Dominic H says Kyle Walker. Andy Duckworth says Walker. Steve Lover hasn't gone for Steve. He's gone for Martin Dubravka. Big Lou's gone for Dubravka. Andy Benny's gone for Walker. Dan Atkinson's gone for Dubravka. Duncan Fisher says can't split Walker and Dubravka for it. Zinchenko says Chase the Dream. Bernard Taladai says Walker for me, but can't argue against Dubravka. Andy Brown says, can this be the season we don't concede 5 against City on Saturday? Who knows? But we're doing man of the match at the minute, aren't we? MJH Gaming says Dubravka, man of the match, but shout out to Cullen as well. I thought Cullen played well as well yesterday. I do agree with that. It was good. But I do feel like some players did outperform him. Dubravka says Claret Al. Ginger Alley says Dubravka. Simon Woodall says Walker. John Craven says GK, who's called Dubravka. Mus Trucking says Foster ran his socks off, hoping for the most boring 0-0 in the Prem has ever seen against City, says Chase the Dream. Yeah, I'll quickly go into this. Liam, I don't know if you've seen it. I'll quickly remove. Yeah, there you go. He's back. Unrelated, but how is Bruno's goal yesterday given, but Foster's goal was ruled out? It's as simple as this, mate. It's Manchester United. It's checking club badge. And I do think it's a thing. Some people disagree with me. I think there's, whether it's conscious or unconscious, I think there's a Big Six bias. And even on these, I don't think there's a mad conspiracy. But I just think there's conscious bias towards the Big Six.
Isn't it automated, though?
I don't know.
It's automated.
Are they just saying it is? Are they just saying it is and then lying to us? But then that would be a conspiracy. I've just said I don't think there is a conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't think they are. Like, it's... I mean, the Fosters one... I mean, for me, the rule should just be, like... I don't think arms should be involved in
I agree.
No one's going to score on purpose with their shoulder. They're not going to.
Foster was offside there.
Something of an Adini.
That's what I mean. Foster was offside there. If Foster ran into the net and did that, and it hit him where he was offside, they'd rule it out for handball, and rightly so. So why is he then offside for it?
I think I saw it on the Rest is Football, I think, the Gary Lineker with Alan Shearer podcast. But like, I just don't think you should really be ruling an arm for an offside call. I just don't think you should. Like, it's just ridiculous. Unless if in that goal they use their arm in some way, then okay, sure. Yeah. But 99% of the time it won't. So the Bruno one, it pisses me off. Yes, it still does. However, if it's automated, it's just the dumbass system, and I think just got to switch the arm.
Well, Andy said it's not automated. It still needs freezing /into. I don't know. I don't know.
I thought it was into the UEFA one, because in the UEFA, competitions they use fully automatic systems, right?
Yeah, they're definitely doing UEFA competitions. I know they do it in the Champions League, but I don't know the difference between what we use and what they use. But there's another one here from Big Lou. That new Newcastle striker, Voltamir, got pulled today in the penalty box, and meanwhile, we get a pull and a pen straight away. Jaden looked outside the box as well. It started outside the box, definitely did the Jaden one, but it carried on into the box.
The Anthony one, I always see it as when someone's got a bit of pull outside the box, they're just going to keep holding it on until they eventually get inside the box or outside it to fall into it. Like, it just fell into the box.
The way the rules have changed now, it encourages cheating. It encourages the player, was it Ahmad? I can't remember who it was, running into the box, looking down, seeing where he is and then falling. Because the rest are right, started outside the box. But now, because he fell as soon as he got into the box because he knew what he was doing. He was
the thing is, humans, especially fully grown men who are physically fit, they're not that weak. Like, of a pull of a shirt, they're not that weak. They don't just. And also,
you would like to think so.
Who did I see?
Like to think so, wouldn't you?
Was it Alistair Campbell or something? Or maybe Phil Bird. It was like, how can someone being pulled backwards fall forwards?
Yeah, I think Alistair and Phil probably both said that, and I agree with that. And it's exactly what Burnley Till I Die says there. The Man United one who's getting pulled back and dives forward. Lee Richards says Dubravka man of the match.
There you go.
Thank you, Lee. Jordan says, to be fair, apart from Anthony Penn at Spurs, I forgot about that one. Foster being robbed of 2 goals, Big Les's red card versus Liverpool, we've been given very fair treatment from the refs this season. So I think he's meant to say it's
the United game was annoying. Yeah, it was annoying. I'm just happy to just not concede a 90-minute penalty again, honestly. Like don't
worry. It'll happen against City.
When I saw they had a corner in the last minute against Forest, I didn't even watch. Honest to God, I didn't even watch. I think
I shouted, "Oh, FS, here we go."
Yeah, it'd be absolutely heartbreaking. Thank God it didn't, honest to God.
Yeah, thank God it did not. Looking ahead to the fixtures then, obviously up next is Cardiff. Hopefully we win, but it's not the end of the world if we don't. Then we've got City focusing on the Premier League fixtures. Then it's City away and Villa away. Then come a couple of winnable games. Leeds United at home and then Wolves away. And then it's back to the ridiculous fixtures with Arsenal at home. Obviously, we all have PTSD when it comes to City away. I think we lost 5-0 there 4 or 5 times in a row, something ridiculous like that.
5-0 4 times in a row.
Yeah, I think the one before that was 5-1 in the FA Cup where we scored first. Ashley Barnes scored. And I remember going absolutely sick. And then I think it were just before half-time, if I remember rightly. And then we were 1-0 up at half-time, and then we lost 5-1.
I was there that day. That concourse was incredible at half-time.
I was there as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Because obviously we're in the Cup, so you get the full top 2 tiers of that, don't you? So I do like City in the Cup, but obviously not as much this time. I remember saying to myself, I'm not going City anymore. I'm fed up of it. Bought tickets and I'm going. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know.
I think when we were in the Cup, I think it was, we faced City in the 5th round or something. And I was debating, like, I got to fly out for it just in case.
Oh, no, the quarterfinal. Yeah. That was my little boys. That was my little boy's first ever away game. What was it? 6-0? 6-1 maybe? Yeah. When we were 5-0 down, it's like, are we going? I'm like, no. You stay till the bitter end. This is what it's about. And then I think when they scored the 6,
was it 6-0 or not? What was it? It was 6-0. Yeah. I thought it was one that Foster scored in the last minute. No, Foster set up Al-Dakhil has scored at the Etihad. I forgot about that. My God.
Al-Dakhil. There's a name.
There's
a name. Anyway, looking at that, mate. Looking at the next 5 Premier League games there. So, like I said, City away, Villa away, Leeds at home, Wolves away, Arsenal at home. How many points are you hoping for there, mate?
Hoping for, it has to be... The thing is, I can imagine Wolves sacking their manager before we play against Leeds, because the game before that, Wolves play Sunderland away. So when we play Leeds, they play Sunderland. So I can see, but I know that he's just been on a 3-year deal, which is ridiculous, but I can see them somehow sacking him beforehand. So I don't know.
Big Lou says he feels for him.
7 points, but realistically, it's probably going to be more like 4 or 5. I think we'll
like Dominic says. I agree with. I would take 5 out of that now. Draw against Villa, beat Leeds, draw at Wolves.
I think more along that. I think we get a result against Wolves maybe, but yeah, I would say probably 5.
Yeah, I'd take 5. If we were offered 5, I'd rip your hand off right now. But we can go to Villa and win with the way they're playing this season. We can beat Leeds at home. I know they got a very good result yesterday against Wolves, to be fair, and maybe they have finally clicked. I have been saying Leeds will finish bottom for a while now, but I'm pretty certain it's probably going to be Wolves now, unless they somehow manage to turn that around.
I'm pretty sure that they made Leeds look like much better than what they were. Like, apparently Leeds was actually just not really that good of a team, but
they look poor up front, the Leeds. I'll say that, but they scored 3 yesterday, and one of them was a superb free kick, and I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored as well. And I do remember thinking that signing was the worst signing that a promoter club had made, but he managed to get that. To be fair. But I'd take 5. A few people are asking for a little bit more. MGH Gaming says 7 points. Must Trucking says Villa, Leeds and Wolves should be expecting 3 points each. So that's 9.
Beating Villa away, I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. Like I said, we are capable of doing it. And if we go there and win, that is a statement. that is a statement because they've started the season slowly, but they still have bags of quality and a brilliant manager.
Issue is, I think they play Fulham. Yeah, they play Fulham at home the day before they play us, basically. So if they beat Fulham, then Hoodoo will be kind of out the window. But then if they don't win that game, then it's a lot of pressure for the game against us, basically.
Yeah, a lot of people saying 7. Big Lou says 7. Draw against Villa, win against Leeds, win against Wolves. Jordan Rushworth says 7 points possible given Villa's current form and with Wolves and Leeds. Chase a Dream says 7 Villa. 7 Villa draw, 2 wins, Leeds and Wolves. Wolves are so poor, says Smashing TFT. Simon Woodhouse says 6 points. A nice little comment here earlier. Sorry, Liam, to jump in, but this is about you. Clarets says, I remember meeting Liam at Old Trafford in the concourse on my son's first ever away game. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I don't know which one that would have been, if it was the Boxing Day one or the other 2-2 one or the other 2-2 one. We drew 2-2 against them 3 times in a row, right?
Yeah, one of them will 2-0 up.
Well,
I was there for that one, and I was fuming. I think you might be right, actually. Yeah,
I was there for 2-0 away once. I was happy I was there for that one. That we actually won there for once. Thank God for that. But that's sweet, man. Up the clouds and all that. Let's try to think. I was going to say something then, but it's now gone out of my mind. I've completely forgot about it now. We can move on.
We can move on if you want to, but I think that's pretty much it. So unless there's something you want to talk, go on then, Chase a Dream. I'll talk about myself for a bit. How did the interview with the BBC go, Joe? I don't know. Did you watch it? You tell me. It felt like it went all right. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know what it was, but they asked for a media accreditation to put me pitch side. The Wolves girl was pitch side. The West Ham guy was pitch side. Burnley said no, we're not having you pitch side, and they shoved us in the fan zone. And for some reason, because it was an open fan zone, so it was public, I was a nervous wreck. I'm not going to lie to you. So I don't know if I came across as really nervous on screen or what, but my legs started shaking after I'd done the piece to camera, because the guy's like, after the piece of camera, he's like, make sure you stare into the camera afterwards because you're going to still be on screen. So it's like that, pointing at the camera, like, don't look away, don't look away. And I don't know what it was. My legs just started shaking like that. I looked like a shitting dog, and my legs were shaking like mad. Too much eyeliner for me, says Claret Al. Yeah, I did put quite a bit on, unfortunately, mate. I ended up looking like Marilyn Manson, to be fair. But no, thanks for asking, Chase the Dream. It went quite well. I hope I came across relatively well. But yeah, pleasure to be asked to do these sort of things.
Because it is harder than it looks, because we've both done the overlap for Burnley now, and when you got like Jamie Carragher and Paul Scholes, he's terrifying when he looks into your eyes. He's terrifying. Like for me, when I was on last time, I was on last because Burnley, right? So we're on right to the end because it's just how it goes.
Same as every time I've been on, same last.
Yeah.
5
so
seconds.
Like, I was wearing I'm wearing like a long sleeve knit thing, so like it's absolutely fucking boiling in that room. So by the end of it, I am just sweating my balls off. So then I got asked about, and like I remember that I thought I didn't do that well, but turned out, and I kind of watched it back, that
I thought you come across quite well. Yeah,
but I talk quite fast, so sometimes I like in that kind of situation, I try to talk a bit more slower.
I'm like that,
but
I do talk fast.
Yeah, but it's harder than it looks, especially when you got like an actual person kind of staring at you, hoping that you don't completely cock it up. So you do well.
I always remember I was on it the day after, 2 days after we got relegated in that last game of the season against Newcastle. And the night we got relegated, I was in a mood, upset. So I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to go out and get smashed. Just got absolutely rat arse because I was depressed, right? Day after, we just spent in bed, rough. And then the day after, I had to go on. So I looked tired. I looked jaded. And then Jamie Carragher asked me a question about something. And I said, it's disappointing because we finished 7th not that long ago. And I was hoping that we'd then kick on and become a bigger and better club. And he went, you finished 7th in the Premier League. You're Burnley. What are you going to do after that? And I'm like, I don't mean finish 4th and get in the Champions League, you dig. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Obviously, I give a measured response. But no, not necessarily finish higher, but, become more established. But instead, we just got dragged into a relegation battle and then never really improved. So I do remember that thinking like, Jesus, Jamie Carragher's having a go at me here. And my arse nearly falling out, to be fair.
Oh, no, it would go at you. It would go at you. I was kind of worried that I would just talk and then it'd be like, yeah, enough of this kid. And then just move on, I think.
Yeah, no, great impression, says Dom. I can always do a good Scouser. I went out with a Scouser for 4.5 years, to be fair.
Of course.
I don't think you can do it very well, actually, Liam, after hearing that.
Why not?
Do it again.
Well, that's taking the piss a bit, you know. Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah, that's Stevie G, that, isn't it?
Man. Sorry.
Big Lou says, where can I watch the interview? Probably on iPlayer, mate. I've not looked, but have a look on iPlayer. I don't know if they put stuff like that up on iPlayer. I'm not sure. But yeah, good effort, lads. Not easy at all, says Andy. Cheers, Andy. Muzz says, one last thing. What's happened to the channel subscriptions? I'm getting emails that my subscription has been suspended. Yes, I need to send an email to find out what is going on. We did mention this earlier, but it might have been when you went for that dump, Muzz. I did see that comment, but I thought I'm not going to read it out. But essentially, someone's put in adverts on the channel for me, and when they took over it, they sent an email out to everyone saying that, so I need to email them to make sure they put them back on. So don't worry, I will get it sorted out. Before we wrap it up, though, Liam, is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Like, I'm looking forward to the game on Tuesday, seeing a few of the new lads. I mean, I guess like personal news wise, like there is plans in place in the near future, the next year or two, that me and my girls, my two daughters, should be moving back home, actually. So I can actually not be a plastic fan overseas in Poland or Czech or wherever.
We'll have Liam live from the studio.
Yeah, I'd be right next to you as well. We could do it together. There's plans in place, but because of, legal stuff, because, my partner's not English, we got to wait until we can legally do it. So that takes 2 years in itself. So, do things the right way. I know that immigration is definitely a big talking point right now back home. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So that's made life a lot more fucking difficult. Cheers, lads. I love Brexit. So, yeah, there's plans in place for that, and it'd be really sweet because, my youngest daughter, Clover, she turned 2 yesterday, and my oldest, she's 3. She turns 4 in 2 months. So maybe one day I can actually take them to Turf, and I hope they like it. They may fucking hate it. It'd be too cold and rainy like usual, but I have to find out eventually. So yeah, I could be back home soon. I've been here for 5 years now. I've been away for 5 years. Feels like a long fucking time. So I'm looking forward to being back home one day, hopefully.
Yeah, fair enough. Look forward to it, mate. Give me a shout. I'm sure I'll see something on Twitter at some point. Clara Al says, great show as always. And he goes on to say, get a medium boat, Liam. They are watching out for the small boats. A bit of a reference there to everything that's kicking off. So we'll avoid that before it turns into bloody GB news or whatever. Dominic H says, thanks, lads, for a great show. Take care up the Clarets. But yeah, I know nobody said it, but I'll say it just like I always do. If you join the stream late, don't worry. As soon as I press end stream, you can watch it back at your leisure, on demand, whatever you want to call it, on both YouTube and Facebook. And I will, of course, be putting this up as a podcast within the next hour or so. Great show, lads, says MGH Gaming. Muzz, you always do this. When I'm trying to sound off, you just keep asking questions. I'll answer this one and then I'm done, Muzz. All right. What's happened to Andrew? He's not been on for 2 shows. I know, that's actually astonishing for Andrew, by the way. I always like to say, if I did a live stream from Chernobyl, Andrew would be there. He is so reliable, but he's obviously not reliable anymore. He's Mr. Inconsistent, isn't he? I can't remember what it was last week, to be fair. But this week he's out for a meal, so he's just stuffing his face, basically. So he's at home.
How dare he eat?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm starving. I haven't eaten yet because I'm doing this. That's the dedication.
He could be there on his phone on StreamYard doing it right now
at the curry house, which is probably where he is. I know I would be if I were having a meal.
Oh, you know what I miss? You know what? I want to come back to England because I miss like a good curry or like a good Chinese takeaway. They don't really do that over here.
Cheap there.
I can't fucking wait, man. I can't wait.
I love a curry house. Get yourself down to Usher, mate. Get yourself down to Usher.
I'm a Barford boy, so like I remember just like Taste of India, and like each time I go back, because my family's still in Barford, I always get a taste of India each time. It probably tastes god awful, but it's nostalgic to me. That or Manly.
Yeah, Andy says he's leaning up full fasting. Well, fingers crossed, mate. Hopefully that goes well. Are you interested in people joining the show? Genuinely, mate, if you are interested, send me a message on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Send it on Twitter. Say I'm Chase a Dream from the stream. And that rhymes. I am Chase the Dream from the stream you have just done. And yeah, we'll take it from there because I'm always looking for more people sending fan reactions and stuff like that. And obviously there's moments where some of the lads aren't available. Like obviously there's only me and Liam available today, for example. So yeah, Victoria Lockhart is clapping at us. So thank you, Victoria.
Yeah, thank God I'm here because like I'm very rarely here these days. So like
I know, yeah.
The fact that if I wasn't here, we just do this alone.
I've done it alone before. I have done it alone. It's not as good, I'll be honest. It doesn't have the same sort of like effect. I normally just shut up after about 50 minutes. Not normally when I'm alone, I just say to the people in the comments like, look, just ask loads of questions, please keep me going. And the community is brilliant. Other than the fact they like to bully me for the first 10 minutes, they're brilliant. Apart from that,
I think it's deserved.
Thank you. There you go. I'm just being turned into now this bully victim now. But anyway. I'll wrap it up before Muzz asks another question. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. If you're looking for the podcast, it will be out in the next couple of hours. I will be doing a pre-game show, probably not for Cardiff, but for Man City. So I'll see you there. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next time.